we're going to learn how to use the graphic device class, right? And let's see, what is it? First place you want to go, pretty much just Java Dialog. We learn how to create Java Dialog, right? On our own class, same thing. We're relying on this because the comments is going to explain what is the program going to do for you. It say describe the graphic devices that might be available in a particular graphics environment. This includes screen and printer devices. Note that there can be many screens and many printers. Alright, so like you can have in the multiple monitors, right? Settings, then you want to get a default printers, right? So that's why I get default configuration, right? You can do that methods. Now, each graphics device has one or more graphics configuration objects. So we talk about a graphic configuration class. See that? If you click, you see graphic configuration class, right? Just like if you look at our code one more time here, a J option pane, I can just do create dialog. I get the J dialog, which is J dialog is a class again, right? Just like that. So now our point is we want to pop up the windows at the bottom right corner, right? And we want to snap exactly, right there. All the windows, then we need to get the configuration. That's what we want. And how to get configuration? Graphic configuration, getting from graphic device, right? So let's import graphic device to use, right? Now we have to check the method first before we do this. We want to know what's the method name. For getting configurations, you're going to have to do get default configuration. So let's scroll down. Why I have to look at this? Because I need to know, is it statics? And what is the object that's returned? Okay, let me go to the method summary. Get default configuration returns the default graphic configuration. Now I know it's returned the graphic configurations and it's not the statics. If it's statics, like in J option pane, if it's static, show message dialog. I showed you last time, you guys do dot show message dialog without instantiating it, right? Now if it's not static, then I have to instantiating it. So instantiating it is pretty much like this. J option pane equals new J option pane, same graphics, what device, and I'm gonna say graphics device equals, that's just the name of instance, right? Graphic device with a lowercase. Graphics with S. Now I can just import from Java AWT, right? New. Let me put the same graphics device. Now you have to look at the constructor. That's why we go back to Java Dialog again to look at the constructor. Okay. Say about protected again. That's why you cannot use them. We talked about scope last time. If it's public, you can use. Private protected, you cannot use. Right? You cannot manually just use this. So, okay, we see that to solve this problem, we said note that there can be many screens in an instance of graphic environment. So we have to rely on graphic environment. So let's see graphic environment. When we do get screen devices, is return graphic device. Right? Alright, so let's check the Java doc for graphics environment. So graphics environment class describes the collection of graphic device. Because like I said, the point is it can be many devices. Could be at one monitors, two monitors, right? Different screens. So that's why it makes sense you can't just call graphic device directly. First you have to go to the graphic environment, right? Because it's a collection of all the screen or the monitors, which is graphic devices and monitors, right? So before we can use this, we technically have to use graphics environment, right? And you can type it the whole thing, graphic environment, so just GE stand for graphic environment. Okay, and normally I like to spell out to make it easy to make your code easier to read. Because when the program get bigger, like 100 line of codes, and you see GE at the bottom in line 100, you don't know what it is. You have to scroll up to line 14 and read, oh, it's graphic environment, something like that. But technically you don't have to with the IDEs, but in case you don't have IDEs, that like Eclipse, you can just hover. It's going to pop up, hey, this is an instance of graphic environments. But if you use Notepad, you're not going to be able to do this, right? We have to import this. Again, do we need to use this? Like I said, if it's statics, so we have to look at what's the method that we try to use again, right? So we said we want to get a device. So get graphic device, right? Get default screen device, that's it, that's what we want, right? Return the default screen's graphic device. And it's not statics. That means you can't just use it with a dot. And now graphic environment is protected again. We can't create it again. Get default graphic devices. Get default. No, we have to get local, right? Because get default screen device, you cannot access to that, right? You can only access directly to statics. Get screen devices, they're not statics. Just like the option pane.show message dialog, you could access to show message dialog because it's statics. You don't have to do instantiation, right? Now, this is the one that we want. Return the local graphic environments. We want the local graphic environment first. So, come back to this. We cannot instantiating this because this is protected, right? Then, what we can do, we actually can get the statics to static methods, which is environments dot get local graphic environments, and we just read this. It will return the graphic environment. So now we get a local graphic environment setting up for this computer machine. Right? Just graphic environments, about the graphic environments. And then we know that graphic environments itself if we use this, there's a method to return the graphics get screen devices, right? As return an array of graphic devices, because it could be more than one screen, right? Or you can do get default screen device. Then we only worry about the default screen now if you have more than one screen, right? Now we need to get default screen device, right? So get default screen device, which is returning a graphic device. Now you get into the first you get to environments. Now you get to actual screen that you're working on, right? Under the graphic device because it's default. Then you can access to the method of graphic device now. So let's look at graphic device. And what do you want to do? You want to get how do we get width and height? We can get full screen window, get display mode available for graphic device. Return the current display mode of graphic device. Get default configurations. Yeah, maybe that's what we want, right? Graphic configuration. Because return the configuration. Okay, so let's do graphic configuration. Because we want to know the configuration of width and height, right? So graphics configuration. Now you see it keep returning an instant back. It's just the way that you organize your code too. Alright, for example, if you want to build a car, I want to look at what is an engine size of the car. I actually have to go to like the first level car, and then second level get brand, right? And then get model, right? And then get engine size. That makes sense? Before you really get into the configuration width and height. That's pretty much how they organize in the big picture to smaller picture. Categorize it. So the same that we do in programming. So graphic configuration, and we know graphic devices. Then we can get the configuration, right? Get default, right? We want to get default configuration because they could have multiple devices, right? Let's return graphics configuration. We have to import in again graphics configuration under AWT, right? Now let's see for the graphic configuration, we try to get the width of the screen, right? The monitor settings. Let's see if we can get width or get screen. I see something about get screen, right? Is it? Let's look at the graphics configuration Java Dialog. We're looking for, we have get bounds, return the bound of graphic configurations in a device. So if I have rectangle, that means I can get width and height, right? There you go. Right? So we are to get bounds. And then we can get width again, right? because return rectangle